When thinking about an artist, I like to look at how they have evolved. What has changed between their first and latest album. An artist that I think has one of the most organic evolutions is Tyler, the Creator. Tyler is a hip-hop artist who achieved stardom at the age of 18. He gained popularity through his rap collective, Odd Future Wolfgang Kill Them All. He also received popularity from his solo career with hit singles such as Yonkers.
As I'm mocking deaf rock stars wearing synthetic wigs made of Anwars, dreadlocks.
Tyler is known as a rapper who will say anything to get the attention of the media. He has one of the most eccentric personalities of any rapper, which gives him a bad rap. Tyler is seen as a weird guy who says stupid things, which I think is a real shame to write off an artist like Tyler just because he's not your normal artist. Even with this said, he's been popular for the last 7 years, and I want to explore his evolution as an artist. Many people look at artists and think they have to deliver on the same sound that they originally start with, but I would disagree. I think artists' ability to evolve is really showing how talented of an artist they really are. Let's look at Tyler's first 2 albums, Bastard and Goblin. These are 2 albums that are most similar to each other out of all of Tyler's work. Both of these albums are Tyler talking to his therapist. Each track bounces off the idea that Tyler is working through his problems and his fantasies. Tyler found his success with the niche genre of teenagers. Since Tyler was a teen making this music, it makes sense that his audience came from angsty teens who feel like they don't fit into the world. Tyler talks about all the dark fantasies he has, while diving into the depression of not having a father. Another signature of Tyler's early work is his weird and often awkward beats. The beats in Bastard and Goblin will put off an average listener, but for teenagers who are struggling to fit into the world, it's super easy to grab onto. With these 2 albums, Tyler has shown that he's just a weird, depressed teenager. When parents look at his work, they don't want their kids listening to this because they feel like it might corrupt their children. But for any kid, it's super easy to identify with. Although there was very little growth between Bastard and Goblin, Wolf is where the true growth and the first step Tyler takes as an artist occurs. Wolf is the album where Tyler's starting to tighten up his beats, add more playful song, and overall a lighter mood to his work. This album was the bridge between the dark and depressed Tyler and the Tyler that achieved fame and started to grow up. The content of this album wasn't Tyler meeting with his therapist, but him dealing with an alter ego. Tyler is as much depressed as he is energetic and ready to go. It feels like Tyler has moved on from his teen phase and started to feel more energy about the rap game and where he is. There are some quieter and darker moments on the album, where Tyler will talk about his relationship with his grandma, and he still misses his father, and that's still a theme on the album, but it's not as prevalent or as heavy-hitting as it is on his first 2 albums. And all these songs on the album don't bog it down. The album doesn't feel depressed, it actually feels energetic, and songs like Tamale and Domo 23 are huge examples of that, the first real bangers that Tyler has ever created. And this was perfect for Tyler's audience at the time. Once you enter your 20s, you kind of have an exciting feeling. You're not as angsty and you're more ready to tackle the world. And this feeling seeped into Tyler's work. And as Tyler's beats became cleaner, his popularity grew even more. And then this is where Cherry Bomb comes in. The depressed Tyler is completely gone on this album. And it really goes for crazy beats, but a much lighter mood. And although there's a different range of emotions, the mixing on the album overall is actually pretty terrible. And you can tell that Tyler is just having fun with where he's at. He's in his early 20s, and he's been super successful. He just kind of makes things that he wants to listen to. He gets more involved with people singing on his album and much lighter beats. For me, I wish Tyler would have brought his A game on this album, but it is an important change for the rest of Tyler's work. And Tyler is now making music that isn't really depressing. It is more uplifting and energetic and chaotic. And that directly works into Tyler's latest album and what I think is his best album, Flower Boy. Tyler was 26 years old when he came out with this album, and a lot of the lyrics on it aren't seen as jokes like on his earlier works, but it delves into issues of Tyler dealing with fame and missing out on being with his friends all the time. He kind of reminisces on the times of making his earlier works, which is really interesting and a perfect place for any person in their mid-20s to be at. Missing the high school years, your younger years where you didn't have the adult burdens. And Tyler deals with these themes through the motif of materialism, which is something that Tyler picks up from his friend Frank Ocean. Flower Boy is Tyler's smartest album. It goes through its themes effortlessly, while also combining slick production with various other artists, to create an almost perfect album. Now that we have an overview of all of Tyler's work, going back and looking at his older albums where he was a depressed teenager, you really get to see how far he's come. And for someone who's been listening to Tyler for years, I'm able to see how far I've come. I'm not a depressed teenager like Tyler was. I've grown into a young adult. And that's why it's so important to look at artists who evolve, because you get to see your evolution through their music. When you used to listen to their older music, you can see how you identified with that music, and you see how you can identify with his new music. And every artist should try to achieve this kind of evolution. I think it's very important for an artist to keep pushing the boundaries of what they're talking about and how they're making music, while still trying to stay true to themselves and their fans. And I think a perfect example of this is Tyler, the Creator.